What is up, YouTube? I am Shaq Central, and this is the Uniquely Hardcore Challenge. In this series, I am attempting to collect every unique item in Path of Exile, not just in the solo self-found game mode, but in hardcore as well. It's going to be a long grind, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So sit back and join me for today's unique experience. So I basically took like literally 2 steps. I died faster than I could even process to hit the logout macro. So that's a bit unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. That is that comes with the territory of the game mode. You're gonna die sometimes. It's about what we do afterward. So the quest for the ultimate Vortex tank starts tonight. I know exactly where I'm going with this. Going to do a couple different things than I would normally do. I'm going to be testing out a few things that it's kind of a test. I already know they're good. That's the plan for the swap. Basically for this character, I already have like the majority of the leveling gear ready in a tab. I got a 5% life corrupted tabula, and yeah, I'm ready. We're just going to blast. The tree went north earlier than I remember. Yeah, part of it's because I have twink gear. Whoa, what a hit. What a hit. Part of it's because I have like twink gear and leveling gear. But also because I've played this like literally 500 to 1,000 times. I'm much more comfortable rushing offensive nodes that I want earlier on. What would you say is your least favorite act to progress through? That's a good question. I think my least favorite act to progress through is probably Act 9. It's close between Act 6 and Act 9. Act 6 just takes forever, but I actually think it's pretty interesting. Both from a lore and a just stuff to do perspective. Act 9 is just like, I genuinely don't know why I don't like it very much. It's just always been, right from the first time I did it, it was like, yeah, no, it's just, everything just seems like way more of a drag than it is. That's my, it's more the perception of the zone than the zone itself. Like, you go through the, that frozen part at the beginning, to get to the Vastiri Desert, you have to take that lift like 3 times, and it just feels like such a chore. Like, why not just make the zone longer and make you have to go down the lift once instead of 3 times? Just feels like you go down the lift, then you do the same thing, you go through the same like left to right thing, then you go down another lift, then you do it again, you go down another lift, and it just is like, come on. I get it if Act 4 is people's not favorite. It's similar like mine's the Act 4 rehash in Act 9. So I definitely get it. I am beyond upset right now. I am in Poor Joy's Asylum, and I had pretty nuts gear for my level. I wasn't even level 80 yet. I had almost 9,000 energy shield. Had a really sick chest and my double corrupted baited breath. And the boss of Poor Joy's, I believe some of these guys use Detonate Dead. I want to check that. I believe this guy uses Detonate Dead. I'm standing on top of the boss's body. I killed the boss and immediately blew up. I got hit with a Detonate Dead. I am so upset about this. I don't know. I don't have any words. Maybe I'll record another reaction to it, or like an assessment of the gear, because I am so upset right now. That was the worst death I've had this entire league. Literally, as she died, I just got blown up by the Detonate Dead. Sorry, I'm still on this. This is the dude right here, Mortality Experimenter. So apparently what I should have done is taken these out, because the Mortality Experimenter, oops, already had a tab open, uses Detonate Dead. instant one shot from the boss. I'm very upset about this. Okay. I'll try to play funny music or something to make it lighter in the uniquely hardcore episode, but I had some real bad deaths this weekend. It tilted me real bad. Real bad. Trying to figure out where to go from here. So, like, we could watch Don's video because he put out a video like a couple hours ago explaining this and got me really hyped for it. And he's got a couple budget versions in there. So I was thinking about like drawing up plans for this in POB because I really enjoyed playing Melee with that Earthshatter champ. That was really fun, and I think would be a really fun way to play this. So let's let me look at this. Maybe we watch watch a little bit of this together. Let's see if I can find where his budget stuff is, and we can take a look at this together. Because this seems really this seems crazy fun. I'm just so upset about that Vortex death. That character was just on the verge of being so good. The biggest issue that I had with it is it was starting to get like very good, and I put a lot of currency into the last few pieces of gear I needed to get it going into maps. So this is what's really hurting me right now, like really hurts. I spent about 75 fusings, but this is a major problem. And I spent all the chaos, all the alts, finally got it up, almost 9,000 energy shield before it was even level 80, and then one shot to a detonate dead. But we can recover. So let me see. I don't need his voice for this at the start at least. So I'm trying to find the budget. All right. I'm very excited about this build. I was just took a day or two. I had vacation day yesterday, which is why the uniquely hardcore episode didn't come out on time. Took a day to hang out with the family, do all that stuff more than usual, especially after dying. Was just feeling pretty down about that Vortex character, so didn't even think about PoE at all. I mean, hard to argue with those results. We'll also be picking up Lancing Steel, so we can test that out on bosses. We can pick up Chain in Act 4 and just see how the clear feels with Chain.
That somber expression doesn't become those fetching features at all. Cheer up and dance with me.
If Chain doesn't feel bad, we can use Chain as like our only thing and not have to swap between skills.
Oh, please.
That's what I'm hoping. Chunky. I used to laugh when Ziz would end his videos by saying try to die less often than I do, but now I feel like it's like a thing that I have to say. Ooh, that was rude. There we go. Am I a joke to you? Oh, okay. All right. Got a little bit smaller of a roundup this time, but still ended up having a few new uniques. So I figured we can go through them and get them on the list. As you can see there, we're up to 310. So here is what we found as we've leveled up the last couple of characters we've been playing. Got the second of the Agnerod staffs. I believe I have the East one as well, but just got Agnerod South. So it has a very high strength requirement. Gives you a whole bunch of lightning damage. +2 to level of all lightnings. Spell skill gems, more max lightning res, and then your damage penetrates lightning resistance. So clearly wants you to play with lightning, but yeah, that's the second of our 4 Agnerod staffs. We got a Hezmana's Bloodlust. It's a pretty cool one. It's implicit as a chance to maim on hit. Does a lot of fizz damage. Add some fizz damage. You leech life with your damage. And then if you've taken a savage hit, which I believe is 15% of your life. That's way less than I thought. So if you've taken at least 15% of your life in a hit recently, taken a savage hit, you have a massively increased attack speed. And then, interestingly, your attacks have blood magic, so you kind of get that without having to take the Keystone. Erendel's Embrace is a weapon that I actually really like a lot. It gives you a bunch of attributes. Your minions deal more damage. Summon skeletons, cover enemies in ash on hit. And covering someone in ash means they take more fire damage and they have less movement speed. And then your summoned skeletons take a big percentage of their life per second as fire damage, and they have Avatar of Fire. So it's going to turn your minions into, well, your summoned skeletons into big time fire damage dealing minions. Well, let's go with Sappho's Frame. This is a really, really cool one. If we can get multiples of these, I would love to use these in some builds. This gives all res as it's implicit. It gives you a very high chance to block spell damage, gives you increased spell damage, gives you all resistances, and then really importantly, it gives you +4% to all your max resistances, with the downside of all of that goodness being you cannot block attacks. So if you can keep things at range, this is an incredibly strong shield. It just by itself, it brings your max resists up to 79. Then helps you hit them with the all-res roll. So very, very cool item. Very happy to pick it up. Samus Gift. I think it's Samus Gift. Maybe Samus. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's a spike point arrow quiver, so it has global crit chance. But it gives you cast speed, not attack speed. It gives you cast speed. It gives you some life, some lightning res. And then the big one is at the bottom. You deal 1% increased lightning damage per 10 intelligence. So if you want to stack intelligence in a bow build, you can use this quiver and get a whole bunch of damage out of it. And then something that's fallen off recently, not recently really, for a while now, but used to be something really, really cool that a lot of builds used, is the Rat's Nest helmet. Gives you a large amount of attack speed, a very high crit strike chance roll. It gives you increased move speed out of your helmet slot, which is pretty awesome. It reduces your character size, though, which is very interesting. I wish this character's not quite high level enough to put it on to show you, but you get a little bit smaller, and then it gives you a whole bunch of rarity. So a pretty cool Magic Find style helmet. We got a Spreading Rot. That's the threshold jewel for your Blight, and I believe that leaves us with only one more of the Act 5 quest rewards we need to get. Obviously, we'll keep getting them on every character so we can corrupt them or do just fun things with them, or the ones that limit to 2, you can use 2 of them. But this, I believe, puts us one away from getting at least one of all of them. So that's the threshold for the Blight Jewel. And then really cool, we got a Pariah. Pariah is a very cool gem. It's a very cool ring. It's an unset ring, which means it has a socket. It gives +2 to the level of the socketed gem. And then depending on whether it is a red, green, blue, or white socket, it has various effects. You get a whole bunch of life if it's a red socket. You get a whole bunch of mana if it's a green socket. You get a whole bunch of energy shield per blue socket. And then if you manage to get it white, you get more item quantity. So there you have it. There's another 8 to add to the list. A couple really cool ones in Rat's Nest, Sappho's Frame, the Pariah. And yeah, we're just going to keep collecting them. We're doing pretty well. I think I love Heist, and even if I don't, it's important to me to convince myself that I do, because of how many replica blueprints we're gonna have to run. So don't ruin this for me. Let me think Heist is good. This is very important for my future sanity. That's some serious health dipping downward. Yeah, I'd go up 2 at a time and see how it feels.
I can't do this just yet.
Oh, almost got her. Almost got her. She almost never shows up here. And this is Lancing Steel with chain, not with like a 5th damage support. Yeah, it's totally fine. Totally fine. Not even a problem. I have been trying to figure out blueprint. Oh, it's replicas. Oh, there we go. That's like 5. That's like 5 of them. This dude, with the way that Lancing Steel works through doorways, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm starting to think this build might be a really good Grand Heist farmer. I'm just saying. Just saying. With the way that Lancing Steel is working, this might be a very, very good Grand Heist farmer. And that's Act 9. Alright. Cool. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That was... The single target is getting out of control. And this is like just devastating. Oh, there it is. Woo! I don't know what I was expecting for a welcome party. Somehow 3 blue packs wasn't on my list, even though it's literally always 3 blue packs. I mean, what do you want from me? This build is great. Okay, rewards. Ooh, a pyre ring. It hit. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Those are big. Dang. Look at this. The single target is awesome. Oh, is that a Dream Feather? Yo! That's a Dream Feather. Why am I playing with the wrong scene on? There we go. Now it looks normal. Whoa! That's real sick. That was a really great find. I don't know. Where is she? There she is. Boom. And now, instead of the Queen's Decree, we are now wielding the Queen's Escape. And by wielding, I mean we're going to look at it. There you go, Queen's Escape. We got a level 2 character right here. This is a big thing. Cross your butts, because we're going to try to grab... Where's my div cards? Alright. Here's the deal. We turn this into a level 2 character.
Hello.
As a result, we get a item level 2 obliteration. Item level 2. Boom. Now,
See you soon.
here's the goal. Here's the goal. We're gonna vol it. What we want is for it to turn into a corrupted rare. If it turns into a corrupted rare, we can then trade this with 4 other demon's horns. Yes. And when you trade 5 of an item in for a new item, like for a new copy of that item base, it keeps the lowest item level. So if we can trade this in, if we can corrupt this and get it to be a rare, trade it in with these 4, we will get an item level 2 demon's horn that we can then craft to have like very good. We can craft it to do +1 cold a lot easier, and we can basically craft it into a very good wand with, instead of having the Driftwood wand implicit, we can have a 31 to 35% spell damage implicit. So, we got to rub this on Kuduku, right? That's the thing you got to do. Everything's dead. Here we go. Are we ready for this? You got to rub it. You got to rub it. You get every inch. There we go. Let's for good measure, let's rub the Valo on him. Come on. You can brick it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. This is a sad day. This is a sad day. Alright, so I'm on attempt number 2 to record this. I had some very strange Streamlabs issues trying to record, but I think we're up and going. So we have, if you can't tell, a huge full inventory worth of unique items, a lot of which were found tonight on stream. It's kind of crazy. I think probably a good half of this was not in the inventory about 2 hours ago. So yeah, let's just get right into it. This is the Queen's Escape. It is the upgrade of the Queen's Decree. So this is the faded version. We now have the original version and the faded version. It really is basically the same weapon, like almost identical. Gives minions life, movement speed, increased skeleton duration. Your minions deal more damage, and you can have one additional zombie, specter, and skeleton. These two I'm pretty excited about. We got a Dream Feather. Dream Feather is awesome. Adds fizz damage. It adds attack speed, gives you some evasion, which is uncommon on a weapon. Gives you some move speed, which is also uncommon on a weapon, and some increased accuracy. But the big thing you'll see at the bottom, 1% increased attack damage per 450 evasion rating. So you stack evasion, you're dodging a lot, you're not getting hit, and you're also stacking up your damage with a Dream Feather. So very cool item, one that I've barely ever had drop for me before, and we found it. At Ziri's Mirror, we're going to need a couple of these because there is a faded version that's incredibly rare and very expensive in trade leagues. But this weapon is an evasion rating shield. It gives you all resistances. It gives you reduced duration of curses on you. Has Hex Reflection. It gives you, which is just, it reflects curses. I believe that's what Hex Reflection is. Hold on, I'm definitely going to edit this part out. Well, I look this up real quick because I'm a professional. Yeah, when an enemy inflicts a hex on a character that has Ziri's Mirror, Hex Reflection causes that curse to be inflicted on the enemy as well. That's what I was checking. So, as well, meaning it doesn't reflect curses so you don't get them. If you get cursed, you also curse the enemy with that curse, basically. It's not you, but the enemy basically ends up cursing themselves. And then it also gives you, while you are not cursed, you have more attack block chance. While you are cursed, you have way more spell block chance. Life Sprig, somehow, I did not have yet. I've been looking for it since day one, really the first set of rituals on the coast in Act 1 on day 1, and we finally found our first Life Sprig. So it's +1 level to Socketed Gems, gives you spell damage and cast speed, gives you life and mana, and then every time you cast a spell, any spell, every single time, you're going to regenerate 8 life over 1 second. Very strong early leveling unique that I had not found yet. Chevron's Pace. We actually had one of these early, and I got a prophecy for the upgrade to Chevron's Gambit, so I just went ahead and did it and needed to find the replacement pace boots, and we found them. So pretty good energy shield, movement speed. You get even more movement speed when on full life. Pretty cool item. Black Gleam, another one we're going to have to find multiples of because it also has a faded upgrade, or a faded version. It adds fire damage to bow attacks as it's implicit, gives you attack speed, gives you some evasion. It converts 50% of your fizz damage to fire damage, and then it also has an explicit mod, and its implicit do the same thing. They add fire damage to your bow attacks. Another one that was really awesome that we finally found is a Rhyme Gaze. So this is the tried and true Shack Central special. This is the Vortex helmet. You typically would put Cold Snap in this helmet. Gives it level 20 concentrated effects, so basically a 5th link for your Cold Snap or whatever gem you decide to put in there. Gives you a huge amount of cold damage over time multiplier and increased cold damage. Has a very high amount of energy shield for a helmet, but it does have an actual legitimate downside of reduced energy shield recharge rate. So just be careful with that. Mind Spiral. I got this as a double drop in a heist, so I actually found 2 of them immediately. They dropped on top of each other. Gives you increased cold damage and lightning damage. Gives you a lot of mana, and then also you gain some of your mana as extra maximum energy shield. Enemies cannot leech mana from you. You take 6% of damage that you take, you get back as mana, but you cannot leech mana yourself. Very cool, very thematic armor. I really, really like this. Like the design of this helmet. It's very cool. The Druggery or the Drudge... It's not Drudgery because Drudgery would have a D in it. But so I guess it's the Druggery cloth belt. Gives you all attributes. You get more flash charges gained. You also have more flash charges used. You also have flask effect duration. So very, very cool flask-themed belt. Life flasks gain 1 charge every 3 seconds. And then 100% of your life recovery from your flasks is applied to nearby allies instead of you. So that's very important. You are not going to get life recovery from flasks while wearing this belt ever. A Malachi Simulant is another thing we're going to need 2 of because it has an upgrade. It gives you strength, it gives you spell damage and lightning damage, it gives you lightning resistance, and then it gives you blood magic, and it has the Mortal Conviction, which is something I totally am not looking up right now. It gives you blood magic and Mortal Conviction, which is you can only have 1 non-banner aura from your skills, but your non-banner skills that create auras do not reserve mana. Very cool. And it upgrades into another very cool item as well. Oh, we got a unique map. The something map. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I am gonna try to pronounce it. Waka Wairua Tuahu. I nailed it. Strand map. It is a totem. It's a strand map unique variant that has a ton of totems. Your curses have much less effect on monsters, and then all the rare monsters have a nemesis mod, and then there's a boss that is impossible to kill and kills you eventually. Malagaro's Cruelty. Dex and Intelligence implicit amulet gives you max life, and then it's got a bunch of charge things. So you have a chance to gain a frenzy charge when you kill an enemy affected by at least 5 poisons. You have a chance to gain a power charge when you kill an enemy affected by fewer than 5 poisons. You have 10% increased damage with your poisons per frenzy charge, and you have 3% increased poison duration per power charge. So yeah. Start poisoning your enemies. The Pyre Sapphire Ring has cold res, has fire res. You do have increased burning damage. You convert some of the cold damage that you deal to fire. You have light radius, which is whatever, and then ignited enemies that you hit are destroyed on kill. Good way to get some corpse destruction in your build. Shackles of the Wretched is a very low level pair of gloves. It says hexes applied by the socketed curse skills are reflected back to you. And then it has a bunch of texts that are like, if you've been chilled, you cannot be chilled for a few seconds. If you've been frozen, you cannot be frozen. Same for Ignite, same for Shock. So if you've been any of those, then for 3 seconds afterward, you cannot get that status ailment again. And then you grant 4 frenzy charges to allies on death, so not great. But that top line is what people would typically try to abuse in a build. And then finally, this might be the only time that I ever have a unique that Lighty does not have in his series, unless he has updated his thing and found one like today. But I checked earlier, and he actually doesn't have this, so I'm pretty pumped to have found it when we found it. Hand of the Fervent Zealot Gloves. It gives you a bunch of armor and energy shield, well, a medium amount of armor and energy shield. You have a bunch of life. You gain Sacrificial Zeal when you use a skill, dealing you 150% of the skill's mana cost as physical damage per second. So you get spell physical damage, that's Sacrificial Zeal, but then you take 150% of the skill's mana cost as phys damage per second. And then, while you have the Sacrificial Zeal, your hits overwhelm 11% of physical damage reduction. So good way to get a whole bunch of damage in, but with the downside that you are constantly hurting yourself. And with that, We are at 325 uniques. All right, and that's going to do it for today's episode. We're getting pretty well above 300 uniques and having still, I think, a lot of fun. Been dying a lot, about how much I expected for it being my first hardcore league, but taking the punches and re-rolling when we need to and still having fun. So, if you've enjoyed the series, please consider subscribing, following, all that stuff. And if you want to see me live, check out the Twitch channel. A lot of cool stuff been going on there lately, and we've been having a lot of fun progressing this, even doing other stuff like playing Last Epoch and all that. So it's been a lot of fun lately. Come check out the live streams. So that's going to do it for today. I have been Shack Central. I will see you guys in the next one.